Welcome everyone, my name's Dom, and in this video I want to share with you all of the not so great things about the PlayStation 5. There are definitely some grueling issues that I feel need to be shared with you guys, and hopefully they can be fixed. Some of them I don't have much hope for, so let's get into it. Okay, so the PlayStation 5 has been out for a while now, and living with it and kind of interacting with it day to day, it definitely has a presence in terms of the way that it looks, but the way that it fits in the living room because of its size is a bit of an inconvenience. Sure, when you first get the console or you're planning on getting the console, before you got the console, whatever, you may have kind of anticipated, based off measurements, all other stuff like that, and using your phone for AR, like where it can go and where it can fit. But if you end up changing your living room out, or if you end up doing anything like that where you need to move the console, because of its size, it is inconvenient. It is definitely not one of those things that just fits anywhere. It's not as seamless fitting as the Xbox Series X, where you could just kind of store it anywhere and it just looks good and it looks appropriate. That particular console, because of its flashy looks and because of its size, it needs to be kind of accommodated for those particular elements, which I'm hoping that obviously future iterations of the PlayStation 5 will eventually come out. But what I'm hoping is, that the size is reduced. And while I do understand why Sony made it that large, they wanted to make sure that it had enough cooling, so, it wasn't a repeat of the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro, which, sounded like frickin' jet engines going off, just with, whenever you'd go into the damn PlayStation store. But, I think it might be a little overblown. Mind you, it's new technology, and I understand that, and there's some stuff that's probably got to get worked out as far as making sure that it can stay cool and quiet and operate and, not be that big. But it's definitely something that I need to look at, that I need to pay attention to. Not that I'm rearranging my living room all that often, but when you have to move it, even if it's once or twice, every other year, just that occasional moment, you're doing a huge, if you move or you rearrange stuff, it gets in the way. And, speaking of the hardware itself, the big other hindrance is the storage. Honestly, when the PlayStation 5 first kind of got announced and they were talking about the super fast storage and the SSDs and all stuff like that, I was excited. It was awesome. The technology that they were trying to implement into changing the way we experience games with speed and stuff like that. But the internal storage is dog. Literally, it is like trying to drive a semi truck with a 2-gallon tank. It's just, you're constantly looking at your storage meter. You're constantly looking, and you can get external storage, and now you can put PlayStation 5s in the external storage. You can put PlayStation 4 on there. But when you have the PS4 games or the PS5 games, you can't play the PS5 games on the external storage. You have to transfer them in. Playing those games, PS4 games mostly, on the console, on the super fast SSD storage is awesome. It makes a world of difference. Just like with the Xbox Series X, if you play an older game on that console, the load times are just excellent. They're just on point, and it's hard to have to deal with the switching back and forth. All of this could have been circumvented if Sony had just developed some SSD technology along with, the R&D of the PlayStation 5 for the M.2s that the thing takes, the NVMe SSDs, but there are, to my understanding, still none out. There might be, and if there are, let me know of some in the comments below. Even if there are, it's going to be expensive, and it's going to just not necessarily be, the most conducive option for most people to have. And so managing the storage space is just a nightmare, especially if you have multiple people in your home with multiple accounts and multiple different game libraries. If you have friends that come over and they want to be able to play a certain game, whatever your case is, the storage space on the thing is just not convenient, and it's not enough. All those things considered, like I said, the PlayStation 5 experience has been good in what they're doing. They just kind of cut a few things short that just really hinder the ability to get maximum enjoyment out of it. In addition, the things that I think about all the time are, and I did a rant about this, and that rant has honestly been very interesting with the way people have been perceiving it, the controller is dirty. I have people telling me, oh, just wash your hands more, it doesn't happen to me. No, it does. And if you go look at that video, you'll see the comments. This is a known problem. The little micro texture has this issue, and even if you wash your hands and scrub them with pumice and get all crazy with it, it still seems to pull off flakes and oil and skin from your hands. And it's really no different than if you were a kid and you noticed this with older controllers that had the little seams on the side where sweat and stuff would collect up. And I don't know if you ever tried cleaning that stuff, but it's just, it's buildup. It's just buildup from your skin. Since the controller's white, it's, made doubly worse by the fact that you can now see this stuff, unlike, controllers of the past that were black. I get the point of the micro texture. It's really cool because it's the little symbols of the PlayStation controller. Like, it's a really cool freaking thing that they did. It's just kind of gross. I don't know, something's off. And washing my hands, I don't care what anybody says. It's not a washing my hands issue. Trust me, I have washed with isopropyl and surgeon hands. I use gloves and I do the whole thing. It still happens. It's all over the controller. Speaking about the controller, the Joy-Con drift thing. I don't know what it is about controllers. Joysticks are not new technology. Joysticks are, for lack of a better term, old. They've been around for a while, and certain technologies we've kind of perfected. That's the whole point. So whatever manufacturers out there, whatever schematic, whatever's going on with this whole Joy-Con drift thing between Nintendo and even some Xbox controllers have been getting drift, although be it not too many. I actually made one of these for the Xbox Series X, so if you guys want to go check it out, you can check the little card up here in the corner. But between Joy-Cons and the freaking PlayStation 5 controller, this whole joystick drift thing, it's got to stop. Spend the extra money, cut into your profit margins, pay for better joysticks. Those joysticks need to last. Never had any issues with PlayStation 4 controllers, never had any issues with PlayStation 3 controllers, never had any issues with PlayStation 2 controllers, so why the hell is this an issue now? It doesn't make sense for those controllers to not have issues, and these do. Fix it and get it fixed soon. My controllers haven't drifted yet, but I continue to hear more and more people talking about their controllers drifting and how big of a problem it is. The sooner that stuff gets fixed, the better. And right to repair would be a wonderful thing, especially if you provided the damn joysticks and they were cheap. You can get them on your website, let's say, I don't know, $3, $8, whatever, they get shipped to you, you get a set of 2, and then boom, super easy instructions that your engineers make YouTube videos on, put them on the website and show you how to take them apart and how to repair them yourself for those people who would like to do that kind of stuff. I certainly know I would, and I know that there's a market for people who would like to do that stuff with their Joy-Cons, for their Nintendo Switch. It would be really awesome if that's a way to kind of deal with the older controllers experiencing Joy-Con drift. After that, and this is kind of a little small gripe, but I kind of want to include it because I feel like it, the digital edition is symmetrical. And again, this is a really stupid reason, so if you're still sitting here at the end of the video, I really appreciate it. I wanted to share this last one because it's like, why is the console not symmetrical? The disc one, it has this like ass on it, and it's weird. I don't know what it is. Every time I look at it, it just looks like it's just not quite right. I would really love if Sony had just make a replaceable plate that you could pop off the one side and it just has a fake hump. Just give it a fake hump just to make it, well, it looks like I'm touching a woman here. Give it a I don't know. That's such a small gripe, and that's just me. That's just personally me. I wouldn't even call it a weakness. It doesn't even really belong in this video, but I needed to add just one more thing for that retention, guys. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what some of your weaknesses are of the PlayStation 5 and even some of its strengths. Why not? And please be sure to like this video if you liked it. Definitely check out some of my other content. Please be sure to subscribe. I'm doing the new thing now. Please consider sharing the video. It helps out a ton. And as always, talk to you soon.